I'm AP Townley, and this is Roleplay Culture. Simple tree huggers or dangerous blood mages lurking in the dark wood. It's easy to forget that those who worship nature and its balance would focus on the predator just as much as the prey. But what magic would best exemplify this concept in the Druid? Of course, we'll look at the simplest of magics, the cantrip, to help us decide. So here are 4 must-have cantrips for the Druid in D&D 5e. Yep, back to 4 now. That stinks. As a note, cantrips like Guidance and Resistance are great cantrips that we talked about in the Cleric, right up over here. And would be great choices as well, but we won't repeat them here with the Druid. Number 1, Druidcraft. I mean, we have to pick this one, right? I mean, it's just in the name. Druidcraft. Like a lot of the cantrips on this list, this one is unique to the Druid. That's one of the things I really like about this spell list for the Druid. It's the uniqueness of the choices. This transmutation cantrip takes an action to cast and can produce a variety of effects, not unlike its sister spells, Prestidigitation and Thaumaturgy. You can make flowers, seeds, or buds bloom instantly. And they say Druids can't be romantic. You can create some effects that will display itself in such a way as to predict the weather in the next 24 hours, like a golden orb for a sunny day or clouds for rain, etc. It's a pretty unique feature. There's very little in 5e that predicts or even interacts with the weather, but it could be useful. If time is on your side and you wanted to infiltrate a keep or sneak past a band of goblins, then you can wait for a rainstorm to cover your path. Or wait for clear skies when you need to go over that mountain so you don't get stuck in a blizzard.
It's Saruman! He's trying to bring down the mountain! Randall, we must turn back! No!
You can create a harmless sensory effect, like falling leaves or a puff of wind. This can be part of your grand introduction to people as a Druid. And finally, you can light or snuff a candle, torch, or a small fire. It'd be pretty embarrassing if a survivalist of the party kept failing their survival check to light a fire so you don't all freeze to death. This is one of those spells where creativity of the player can make this diverse and unique spell really shine. It's also one of those cantrips that exemplifies the Druid so very much. So I could see myself, as a DM, just giving it to the player for free. But if the weirdness of this cantrip just isn't for you, Guidance makes a good replacement. Number 2, Gust. Any spell that gives a control effect is always strong. And with cantrips, which can use at will, it's even stronger. This 0th level transmutation spell takes an action to cast and has a range of 30 feet. And not unlike our last entry, has several effects that can choose from when you use the cantrip. You can summon the element of wind to do a variety of things. You can push a medium or small creature 5 feet away if they fail a strength save. 5 feet might not sound like much, but it is significant. It's just enough to knock an enemy into your Spike Growth spell, into your Wizard's Wall of Fire, or heck, just knock them off a cliff. Moving enemies around the battlefield is powerful, especially when it comes from a non-depletable resource. But wait, there's more. You can fire a blast of air at an object that weighs less than 5 pounds 10 feet away from you. So you can knock that flask of alchemist fire off its shelf, smash it, and start a fire. You can also cause air to do minor things like slam shut shutters for dramatic effect, cause leaves to rustle to give the illusion that someone invisible is moving around. Or, my personal favorite, make your cape billow behind you to give you a grand entrance.
The cape and the boots.
No capes.
Again, this is one of those spells that rewards creativity. The more clever you are, the more you're going to get out of this cantrip. And an inexhaustible ability that can move targets is going to be surprisingly strong if you make good use of your allied spells and the environment. Number 3, Shillelagh. Shillelagh is an interesting word. roughly translated to Willow Cudgel from Gaelic. It's a staple for an attack cantrip. This transmutation cantrip allows you to, as a bonus action, imbue a club or quarterstaff with power. This weapon's damage die increases to a d8, which is the same as a great club, only that requires 2 hands, and this allows you to keep a hand free and to cast spells or use a shield. You also swap the strength for wisdom when calculating your attack modifier and for damage rolls. This is great because you're probably not going to focus much on strength as a druid, but you are going to want as high wisdom as you can get, which will make these melee attacks pretty reliable. And not only does it not require concentration, it lasts for a minute. And remember, it only takes a bonus action to cast, which is very rare. There's only a handful of these bonus action cantrips. Many other melee attack cantrips only work once before they need to be cast again, like Booming Blade, but not Shillelagh. So you can cast this spell, attack with your club, doing pretty decent damage, while you're being better protected by that shield in your offhand. You will find that when you're in wild shape as a druid, and you get into your shenanigans, maybe being attacked over and over, which sooner or later will knock you out of your wild shape, leaving you vulnerable. You will probably find yourself within melee range of something that very much wishes you harm. This cantrip gives a solid, repeatable way to defend yourself. Also, smashing people over the head with a wooden cudgel just seems like something a druid would do, doesn't it? Number 4, Thorn Whip. Have you ever been walking through the woods and stumble upon a blackberry bush, and then you reach for that tardy goodness, wherein you are proceeded to be shredded to ribbons by dangerous vines? It's not fun, right? Well, imagine a weaponized version of that. No, sir. I would not like some more. This transmutation cantrip... Wait a second. Is this another transmutation cantrip? Are all our choices from the Transmutation School of Magic? Huh. Who knew? This spell is almost unique to the Druid, with the Artificer being the only exception. It takes an action to cast, has a range of 30 feet. You make a melee spell attack at a creature within range with a thorny vine. They'll take 1d6 piercing damage on a hit, which, of course, increases incrementally at levels 5, 11, and 17. If the creature is larger or smaller, they are pulled 10 feet closer to you. There's no save for this as long as the attack landed, which means it's forced movement that the enemy can't really stop. So you can drag an enemy into your spike growth spell, shredding them with more thorny torture, or even target a sniper in the rafters that's shooting down on you and yank them off. This is definitely one of those cantrips that really shows its value when combined with other spells or the terrain. Whether you're pulling goblins off of bridges, into your allies' wall of fire, or into your own effects, you turn the druid into a very strategic character, which is a little unexpected. I've always thought druids would excel more at exploration part of the game, survival. But certainly they are good at that, but they're even better at battle strategy as being the battlefield controller, which you might not expect from a designated tree hugger. But remember, they are masters of the earth. Any place is their domain. You can also combine this cantrip with our earlier pick, Gust, to both push and drag our opponents over our spike growth spell, which is a move I believe is affectionately named the Cheese Grater. That is 4 cantrips for the Druid in D&D 5e. If you want to explore the best cantrips for other classes, then you're going to have to subscribe, ring the bell, smash that like button. Tell me in the comments below what your favorite cantrips for the Druid are, and I'll see you in the parlor.